this webinar on mental health. Today, we have Ms. Irene Mirjam ma'am here with us. She is an experienced psychologist having vast experience in the mental health sector. We welcome you, ma'am, to this webinar. Now, we have two organizations here, Light and Life and News-Genix. Myself, Nandana from News-Genix and Anurag from News-Genix. News-Genix is an organization which aims to broadcast optimistic news to the people. We aim to bring up news that is relevant to everyone. And now we have Ms. Nishta Sen from Light and Life. I request her to say a few words on her organization.
Thank you, Nandana. This is Nishta Sen from Light and Life. And Light and Life is a youth-run organization started in 2018. And we work towards animal welfare, sustainable environment, and extending to empowerment of society. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Nishta. So now in this era where mental health is gaining a lot of importance, let's hear what ma'am has to say. Irene, ma'am? Ma'am?
Hello, thank you for inviting me. Yeah, I will answer some questions later on. And I'm very happy to talk today a little bit about mental health and my own reflections on it. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have a Project Humanity coming up. So I request Anurag to say a few words on Project Humanity.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Anurag from News-Genix. So we are here with Project Humanity in association with Light and Life, a non-profit organization. So Project Humanity is all about understanding problems in the society with like-minded people around the globe through these digital campaigns. Yeah, thank you so much.
So we'll go with the most common questions. And first question to you, ma'am, is what is the most common and yet ignored mental health disorder people are facing, and what are your views on it?
I think it's the most common disorder is anxiety and also depression. Anxiety is a little bit higher, but they are almost similar. And I think it's mostly ignored because there is still a big taboo on it. So people see it still as a weakness, and we believe that that we have to control our minds and that we are all able to do that. So if you're not able to do that, then that's weakness. And at the same time, people are very holding it inside them. So depression, it's very hard to see it on the outside. So people can often still function and do their things, but inside they have no feelings of joy and also even not of sadness very often.
So thank you, ma'am. Here is the next question for you. What is that you would like to emphasize on the mental health during the COVID-19 and the prevention and cure for that?
I think during COVID-19, it's very different for everybody, of course, but it's also leading to anxiety again, and also to feelings of loneliness, and of course of loss for many people. So it's not a general advice I can give. But I think it's very important to find people to share what's going on in your mind, and also to not suppress it, and so accept all the feelings and then find a way to deal with it. So it can be to talk with other people, or it can also be to find an outlet like making art or singing or doing sports. It can be anything. But I think it's important that you don't suppress it and that you accept everything that's going on.
Yes, absolutely right, ma'am. We are suppressing it more than ever when it is needed to be talked about. So the next question is, what is the role of yoga and meditation in the process of mental healing? And what is your holistic approach?
Yeah, so I think for a very big part, it can be, it can offer relaxation. So to do yoga, to do meditation and mindfulness practices. And also at the same time, it's, it's again, related to this feeling of acceptance, and also that you're, switching from, that you experience yourself as attached to your thoughts. You start to move yourself to the observer position, and then you can see what's going on, your feelings and your thoughts, but you're not identifying with it. So then also the suffering becomes less. Yeah, and what I do personally is I have my scientific background, clinical neuropsychology, but later I did a lot of yoga and I experimented with it for 10 years, and also I did the teacher training. And recently I started to study Ayurveda, and all these insights and different philosophies I try to integrate in my sessions.
Yeah, that's so great, ma'am. So next question for you. How to get over the stigma of mental health?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good question, and also I think it takes a very long time to change stigma, but I think there is a sort of transition going on over a long period of time. But what to do about it? I think still if you can do something like talking about it or writing articles or doing your own research and trying to be open to people you trust, that at least you try to break the taboo. So start with yourself, I would say. Then I think over the long run, it will change, because I see a very big difference if I look at how it was for my grandmother and then my mother and then for me. So it's changing.
Yeah, so the next question is similar to this, but any specific message you would like to give to today's youth who are facing this issue but are not able to speak to their parents, their closed ones? And how can they look for a genuine psychologist, counselor, and how to go about it? Any message, ma'am?
Yeah, good question. I don't exactly know how it works in India, of course. I know in the Netherlands, you can go to your general practitioner and talk about your problems. And then mostly they can offer something within the general practice, or they send you to a psychologist. Also, I would try, if you cannot talk with your family or your friends, maybe there's somebody else you find, a teacher, or there's always somebody that pops up in your life and that you can trust. So I would say try to find the person and don't hesitate to talk. And at the same time also to know that it's very normal to have periods in your life where you have anxiety or depression or another mental disorder or like complaints. You're definitely not alone. So I would say that, and try to find a way to deal with it, and don't stay too long alone with it.
Yeah, so the next question, how should we approach someone who's facing a mental stress as a friend?
I think it's good to say that you don't have any experience, so that you want to be there for this person, but you don't know, to be honest about it. And at the same time, you can try to read a little bit and ask questions like, how are you doing now? How is it for you? And also the presence. It's mostly about to be present and to not to run away like, oh, you're not nice anymore because you're too depressed or too anxious, but just to stay with your friend and to try to offer some help, and also to ask what they would like from you. And at the same time, it's also very important to take good care of yourself, that you don't, suffer under the energy of the other person, that you take good care of yourself.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for that advice. I guess many people need to hear it as a friend. And next question is how to overcome the habit of falling back to comfort zone in challenging situations. It is a very general question, but it is common.
Yeah, again, there, it's very normal to have fallbacks. So to accept that, like, okay, this is part of the process. Everybody will have that. And at the same time, to see also, to reflect on it, like, why did it happen? What was going on? Maybe you can journal about it. And again, also, why do you want to change and where do you want to go to? So you, you need to find an anchor and have it very clearly where you're going to hold on to that. And then it's, the risk is lower that you will fall back, because there is one, sort of area, we call it no one's land, where you feel really lost. Where do you go to? Because you come from a certain situation and you want to stay in this comfort zone, but you need to go to another area that's not so clear yet. So that makes it very hard. When it becomes very clear, then you can hold on to that and go there, go towards that direction.
Yeah, so that's true. So how to stop association of people to emotions, place, events, or things?
So I think you mean if you have a negative association because something happens. Okay. It's very important if you want to still go to that place, for example, or that you don't give up, so you keep going. And so it's called exposure. Maybe you already know that. So first, you try to just take very little steps toward that place, and then you can ask a friend or any help to go again to this place where you have the negative association. And then you keep going, and over time it will fade away because you get other experiences. And so that's actually a very simple approach to just go there. You can do it at once, like, okay, I just go there and stay the whole day, but you can also take little steps. And then, over time, it will fade away.
So I have a few questions. So how can we handle or overcome failures or difficulties in our life?
It's also a very wide question, of course. There are many possibilities. I think it's very important to process the failure or something that happened, that's like a negative event. And again, not to suppress if there's any feelings coming up, like anger or sadness or fear, or you have to cry, that you give space to that. And at the same time that you don't attach to it, so that you don't keep holding on, creating more stories around it, but try to keep it very simple. And that's very much related to meditation. So you accept everything that's coming, and then you also let it go, so you don't hold on to it. And then over the long run, again, it will become softer because you don't fight against it, and you also don't try to hold on to it too much. So I think that's the most important, that you make space for the process, and also that you have good sleep, because in your sleep you have the dream stage where you process everything that happened. So if something negative happened, it's very important to have good rest, to really take good care of yourself. And reflect on your own needs and try to really make that happen as much as possible. Yeah, I hope that's sort of an answer. You can also try ask for help, of course, professional help.
Yeah. So, ma'am, here we go with the last question. So, can you tell us about the ways to overcome various addictions?
Yeah, let me think. To be honest, I personally don't really have experiences with severe addictions or people with severe addictions. But I also learned from yoga that everybody has addictions, and we also are aware of that, I guess. And what to do, yeah, it's mostly the suppression of the feelings, unwanted feelings, emotions. So if you really, if you really dare to take a look at these emotions, so don't be afraid, and then you start to see what's really going on. And again, to make space for that. And then you can deal with the emotions. You're mostly stronger than you think you are. So it's very important to I always say just cry whenever you need the need to, when you feel the need to cry. Maybe you don't want to do it everywhere, but as soon as you're home by yourself, you can just cry about what happened, or talk about it and write about it. So it's actually the same answer as I gave before, but with addictions, it's mostly just the suppression of the feelings because you think you cannot handle it, but very often you can. And maybe it's, if you really need something, maybe you can choose to find another sort of addiction that's less harmful. So maybe you need another, like doing sports or, I don't know, anything that makes you more comfortable with your feelings. You can switch to that, and then you don't need this harmful addiction. Yeah, but it's not so easy, of course.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful insights, because this will help people across the globe to understand the situation and accept it and finally break the stigma. Because to recover anything, first we need to acknowledge the issues. And as we know, mental health affects 19% of the adults every year, 46% of teenagers, and 13% of children. So it's like, it can be a person next to you, your friend, in your family, in your colleagues, and in your workplace. So, but only half of these receive this health treatments, and this is mostly because of stigma that is attached to mental health. So here I am concluding with the important points, and which we discussed so far and which you told, and this will help anyone, even if you are suffering, in like, to people who are listening to this, and you can help your friend. So these are, first thing is show respect and acceptance. See them as an individual and not as their mental illness. Second is advocate within your circles. Third is learn more about mental health. That will definitely help people around you. And as ma'am said, be honest about it, because your presence is sometimes more than enough. And to go about it, there are various e-counseling platforms, Mood Space, Talk Space in India and in various other countries. But it is preferred that you open up to your closed ones and go to someone in person, because that will obviously help more. And there's a famous quote by Glenn Close: what mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, and unashamed conversation, because each one of us deserves a life worth loving. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experiences with us. So your words have given us lots of insights regarding good mental health. We would like to extend our heartfelt wishes for your journey ahead. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much also for inviting me. And I really hope it was inspiring. And I try to keep it simple and close to what I experienced as a psychologist. Yeah, thank you very much. It was great to be talking to you from Istanbul to India. And yeah, I wish you all a very great Sunday.